grass becomes food. Food becomes, well, there you go. That becomes the ground, and from the ground comes more grass. And somehow all of this relates to your marriage. Let's go, non-stop. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. So yeah, it's a cycle. It keeps going and going like one great big circle of life. It's the circle of life. There you go. Don't even act like you weren't already singing it in your head anyway.
In his book, Love and Respect, Dr. Emerson Eggerichs presents what he calls the crazy cycle. It has to do with how husbands and wives communicate with each other. The idea comes from Ephesians 5:33, which says, "Let each one of you love his wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband."
Here's how it works. When we as husbands respond to our wives with love, this motivates them to respond to us with respect. This in turn motivates us to respond to them with more love, and then they respond with, well, you know. Alright, that was the last time. Seriously.
The problem comes when one of us gets upset or frustrated, and then we choose to withhold love or respect from the other. If he, all of a sudden, doesn't respond to me in a loving way, then I'm tempted to respond to him in a disrespectful way.
Now this is where things get crazy. The cycle's now going in the opposite direction, and there ain't nobody happy. In fact, this thing can snowball really fast. And before you know it, what might have started out as a tiny frustration has now, well, you know.
So now the question is, how do we turn this thing around and avoid getting to that point? If we're going to begin to pick up the pieces and move toward restoring the relationship, one of us is going to have to be willing to push back and try to stop it from spinning out of control. One of us has to be willing to do what is against our nature in order to turn the cycle around.
Here's what we mean by that. In general, women communicate with love better than men. They are just naturally better at showing and expressing love than men are. And we can see this in the way they care for infants, young children, even each other. Women are far more in tune with their feelings than we are. Even Hollywood knows this. That's why they market to us differently.
In a chick flick, the main relationship is between a man and a woman.
In a man movie, the main relationship is between a man and his sworn enemy. Or maybe a sports car.
In a chick flick, there will be at least one emotional death.
In a man movie, there will be at least 20 unemotional deaths.
In a chick flick, the happy ending is when the main character finds love.
In a man movie, a happy ending is when the main character finds the enemy and blows him to smithereens.
In a chick flick, the characters learn to respect each other through long talks and thoughtful actions.
In a man movie, the characters learn to respect one another by beating each other up. Same is true in the animal kingdom, by the way. Just watch two bull elk come face to face with each other and talk it out.
Let's talk about respect for a second. In general, men are better at communicating respect than we are. There's something about it that comes easy to them without hardly any effort at all. Honestly, I can't see how men can be in the same room, barely say a word, and yet have spent quality time with each other.
Oh yeah, it's possible. And I guarantee you we'll be leaving the room with an equal amount of respect for one another. Now whether or not that comes from the result of who can make the loudest bodily noises, I don't... You know what, let's just move on.
Regardless of what we're good at when it comes to communicating, we're never going to clear up our frustrations and restore our relationships unless one of us is willing to do what does not come natural. If I want to be reconciled, I have to be willing to respond with respect, even if he is acting unloving toward me.
And likewise, if I'm not feeling respected by my wife, I need to man up and still be willing to respond to her in a loving way. In fact, here's something that I remember hearing that completely rocked my world. If I come to God in prayer while having anger in my heart toward my wife, even if I'm 100% right, which doesn't happen that often, I admit. If I come to God in prayer while angry at my wife, God is never going to take my side. Matthew 5:23-24 says, "So if you are offering your gift at the altar and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go. First be reconciled to your brother and then come and offer your gift."
If we're going to put an end to the crazy cycle, we have to start putting the other person before ourselves. Only then will we be able to get this thing going in the right direction.
And here's a real quick side note for us guys. Remember, even though respect is commanded in Ephesians 5:33, we need to strive to be men who are worthy of such respect. So love your wife as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her.
Hey guys, if this video was helpful, do us a favor. Like and share the video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, go nonstop. Happy Valentine's Day.